They say when you can't decide whether or not to get a hot rod or a motorhome, you get yourself a GMC. I'm Desmond Crisis. Welcome to my ride. The love of a motorhome goes all the way back to when you're a kid. I mean, who doesn't love awesome cars? And to imagine that you could exist and live and sleep and eat inside a really cool ride and go and experience the freedom of being able to stay in any place that you want. I mean, who wouldn't love a motorhome? And I grew up in the 70s, and in the 70s, a lot of motorhomes were hitting the road. So to see all these different crafts around, there was almost like as cool as your Lego collection, you know, you could use your imagination and wonder what it would be like to use one of those and really just go any place that you want to go. During the early 70s, a lot of people were buying motorhomes, and the folks at General Motors took notice because they were selling a lot of truck chassis for different companies to basically put huge, heavy boxes on. The resulting motorhomes were difficult to drive and were being sold anyway. So the folks back in Michigan thought, if we build the whole thing in our own factory and put the Cadillac and Corvette people on the design job, we could build a motorhome that people really enjoy driving. It would be something easier to move, and we could sell a ton of them. So the idea was originally to create a Chevy motorhome, one that everyone in America would just buy and own and love. The difference is that at the time, GMC had the mandate that any vehicle General Motors created that was over 10,000 pounds would have the GMC nameplate. So they decided to build the whole thing in their own factories. They built them from 1973 to 1978. The only thing that stopped them was they cost too much money to produce, and they couldn't make enough money in profit. While the GMC Motorhome is its own vehicle, it is built from whatever General Motors had on hand. So you can tell by looking at the dashboard, this is clearly made of Cadillac parts, but has special purposes for the motorhome, like the auxiliary fuel tank, the auxiliary batteries, that sort of thing. But everyone recognizes this from the Cadillac or the Buick or the Oldsmobile or even the Chevy that you may have ridden in during the 70s. And buying a GMC has never been more accessible. Since 35 years have passed since it's new, you can get these pretty cheap all over Craigslist or lots of different RV markets. There's an expression in the GMC community, and it's how much does a new GMC motorhome cost? The number fluctuates, but it's right around 15 to 18 grand. And the reason they say that is because you either pay that up front or you wind up paying the rest of that to build up from whatever you got. So theoretically, if you buy one for $1,000, expect to put 17 grand into it. Another thing that went into making this really drivable, and I was surprised, is that it's front-wheel drive. All of the drivetrain is right up front underneath the two front seats. And since it's General Motors using whatever they had, it's out of an Oldsmobile Toronado. This device was marketed during the early 70s. It had to have all of the comforts of home. Not only did it have central vacuum inside this thing, but it also had power in the form of a 6 kilowatt Onan generator. That's 6 kilowatts. You could run 3 hair dryers and still probably make waffles. Making the vehicle a comfortable ride is really only part of the equation. The rest of it is what makes it truly comfortable. So let's take a look at the inside. Since these are a product of the 70s, they have all of the modern conveniences of a 70s household. In fact, most of these came with central vacuum. There was a hose adapter here and all of the different pieces hung in this closet. Most people convert this into a bar. The kitchen has everything that you would expect, a sink, a cooktop. This one's had a microwave added. There's not a whole lot of storage in here, but if you think it through pretty well, you'll have all the space that you need. Back here, we've got your standard modular bathroom unit that has a sit, shower, and shave all at the same time option. It's very compact in there. And of course, plenty of vertical storage here. In the back is the master suite, just big enough for almost a queen-size bed. And most of these have a conversion to add additional storage underneath the bed. But up front is probably where you get the most living area. Between the dinette and the sofa, it's a lot of great room for you to look out the windows as you're driving from place to place and to sleep during the evening. The dinette folds down and can accommodate 2 people. And this is a really clever idea that the GM engineers put in. This sofa has a backing cushion that folds up on hinges and hangs from the ceiling to create a bunk bed. But the most important seat in the entire motorhome is this one right here, the driver's seat. Because the real reason that you want to own a motorhome is anytime you want to go, you just load up the whole family, the dogs and everybody, and fire it up.
All new, splendid in action, beautiful at rest. A new dimension in motorhomes.